It is not your phone, Ava. You are not one of them. You are not a Jojo SeaBass.
You mean Jojo Siwa?
I don't know what I mean, Janine. That's the point.
Hello everybody, welcome back to my channel, Just Adri. If you're new here, my name is Adriana, and on my channel I discuss black television shows, Asian dramas, and anime, and I also do gaming live streams. So I'm back again with yet another Abbott Elementary review, and honestly, this week is probably my favorite episode of the series thus far. That episode where Tariq was wrathing, that was a favorite, but this one might top it just a little bit. So let's not waste any more time. Let's quickly get into this recap of episode 11, Desking. So when the episode starts, we see Jacob and Janine walking in the hallways, and they're just talking and commenting on how the students have been really positive lately and how they seem to be connecting with them. Foreshadowing, as we'll get into later. Right when things is just completely wholesome and loving, Ava comes out and roasts Jacob's sweater.
There you are, Jacob. My auntie's dog needs her sweater back. Got him!
So then the episode starts proper, and Janine is in her classroom with the students. I think she's handing back quizzes or homework or something. And then once the students leave, she notices that there's a shoe print on a desk. So she's like, ha ha ha, somebody missed the floor. But then she noticed there's shoe prints on all of the desks. So she goes to the teacher's lounge and she tells the teachers, hey, listen, I have shoe prints on my desk. Melissa's like, wait, you have shoe prints on your desk too? I have shoe prints on my desk. And all the other teachers, with the exception of Barbara, because her kids know better, say that, yeah, they also have shoe prints on their desk. So Mr. Johnson, the janitor, he's like, you know what? I already heard about this through the janitor network. It's called desking. It's a new challenge that the students are doing, and it's going viral on the internets. And Abra's all upset because she's like, man, how have I not heard about this? I'm hype on every new trend. How did this pass me? So Melissa suggests getting one of like a fingerprint, but a shoe print, and collecting one of the shoe prints to see if they could determine which of the kids' sneakers matches the shoe print. And so Jacob is like, it's my turn to shine because his boyfriend is a sneakerhead. So he calls him up. And I'm just going to insert the clip here.
He is on his way.
So this Zach, he lives with you?
Yeah, he just moved in last month.
And that's going well?
Yep. He's so great.
So he knew you and was like, more.
Well, I think he sounds like a really neat guy, right?
Oh, yeah. Sure.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Hey, there's my guy.
Black?
It's actually pronounced Zach. You must be Ava.
You were all thinking it. I see you. Don't look at me like that.
We always look at you like this.
So it turns out Zach really knows his shoes and he knows what he's talking about. So he eventually pinpoints which shoe the shoe prints belong to. And so I forgot who suggested, but they decide to look at all the kids to see if any of the kids have those shoes. And so Gregory's like, no need to do that. I only ever saw 2 kids wearing those shoes. The 2 students are named Brianna and Stefan. I think Gregory suggests that they should wait until they have more evidence before they confront Stefan and Brianna. But Ava is like, no, we gonna get them now. Go get them. So she runs out the classroom to go find them. So they get the students and they put them into the office to interrogate them. And so they're like, okay, let's split the 2 up, and then 2 teachers will play good cop bad cop, and we'll try to get a confession out of them. So they're trying to get a confession out of these kids, and Ava and Melissa are trying to play hardball, and Jacob and Janine are trying the more, hey, let's talk friend to friend approach. So Janine is trying to bribe one of the kids with a Capri Sun, and she can't get it open, and she accidentally pokes a hole through the package and it just leaks out. Oh man, that was another funny part. I love this daggone show. Well, long story short, their interrogation does not work on either of the students, and so Brianna and Stefan, they come out and they're like, haha, you won't get us to crack. This whole thing is bigger than you. We're trying to be the #1 desking school in all of America. Okay, they really don't sound like that, but that's how I interpret it. So then Mr. Johnson and Gregory, well, it's not really Mr. Johnson and Gregory. It's Mr. Johnson just loops Gregory into his stakeout. So they set up cameras in Janine's classroom, and Janine and Jacob are going to have a little talk with the students, and Gregory and Mr. Johnson are going to stake out watching the cameras to see if they catch any of the students doing desking while they are away. But meanwhile, Gregory and Mr. Johnson kind of have a little heart-to-heart in regards to like career and life choices. And so Mr. Johnson informs Gregory that he hasn't always been a janitor. Like, he's been a minor league baseball coach and a few other things. I can't remember everything he said, but he's had a lot of different types of jobs. And so Gregory was like, you never really wanted to do one thing? And so Mr. Johnson, he says, yeah, I have, but sometimes a dream can be a distraction just as much as it is a goal. And so you kind of see Gregory thinking, because he's still kind of upset about he didn't get the principal job and Ava got it through blackmail. So I think his wheels are starting to turning, and he's considering, you know what, maybe the principal thing ain't what it's all cracked up to be. I'm guessing that's what he's thinking right now. But what's a little cute is Mr. Johnson, he's like, oh, there's nothing to see on these cameras.
Go. No one's gonna go desking with teachers in the room.
All right. Huh?
Interesting.
All right, so back to Janine and Jacob's little cornball selves. They had their little talk in the classroom, and they're like, hey, I know desking is all the rage, but really it's not. And so some of the kids is like, what's desking? And so then they basically explain to the kids what desking is. So if the kids didn't know and they weren't gonna do it before, they're definitely gonna do it now. So Janine and Jacob turn to write on the chalkboard, and the kids just start screaming and cheering and clapping. And so they turn around and they think they reached the kids because they're so enthusiastic. Well, after they leave the classroom, all happy that they finally reached these keys. That's a South Park reference. But Jacob's boyfriend Zach gives him a call, and so he's like, "Listen, you need to see this." So he shows them the video of why the kids were screaming, and the kids were screaming and clapping because one of the students was desking behind their backs while they were writing on the chalkboard. So basically, they weren't reaching the youth like they thought they were that was getting played. And then Barbara bursts into the room with probably one of my favorite scenes thus far in this season.
Sweet baby Jesus and the grown one too. My desks have been desked.
They got you.
So now that Barbara's kids done started desking, all bets are off. So Janine, she goes to the school board and tries to tell them, hey, listen, yeah, these kids are desking and it's dangerous, and can y'all do something about these little rowdy brats? Of course, she didn't say it that way because she's Janine. But the school board's like, okay, yeah, we're gonna do something about it, right? Because we can't get a lawsuit. Well, so when they go to school the next day, the teachers are moving the desk out the classroom. And so Janine's like, hey, what's going on? And so one of the teachers like, somebody snitched to the school board, telling them what's happening. So now we gotta move all the desks from the classrooms to the gym. I don't know what dummy thought talking to the school board was gonna help. Of course, Janine's inner circle of teachers already know it was her, so they're like, girl, when are you gonna learn to go into the school board? Ain't gonna do nothing. But hey, on the bright side, it kind of looks like since all the desks are at the gym, the kids won't be desking anymore, right? Wrong. You'd be wrong if you thought that, because they see a I want to say it's not a TikTok, but you know, it's a TikTok. But they see a little social media video of one of the kids dressed in an anonymous mask saying, ha ha ha, they got all the desks in the gym. And I shall desk this gym, and it will be the greatest desking arena of all time. So all the teachers were like, oh, great. This just got even worse. But Janine eventually gets the idea of, hey, you know what? I've come to accept that the kids don't think we're cool. So the best way to end this challenge is to have a teacher do the desk, because once the kids see the teachers desking will be dead and they won't do it anymore. So
You got this, Janine.
Don't say that. I don't believe that she does.
No, she's
not very coordinated.
and she's down.
So she's down and out of commission. So they're like, who is the most uncool person to do this? Whereas when the kids see it, they're going to immediately hate desking. So everyone looks at Jacob. So Jacob does the desking challenge. They post it on the social media network. And when the kids see it, first they just see his legs and his sneakers. So they're like, oh, who is desking in these cool shoes? And then they show that it's Jacob. And they're like, oh, it's Mr. Hill. Man, desking is over. And that's how the trend ends. Yes, so that is the recap. So let me get into my thoughts of the episode. I think it was very funny. Only one criticism I would have is that this episode clearly takes place after the last week's episode, because Jacob mentions the principal job. So I'm kind of finding it a little weird how Ava bounced back so quickly from the news that she about to get fired. Maybe she just tends to shake things off, maybe. But I feel like she would be more like, oh man, what am I gonna do? I might be finna lose my job. But yeah, that's the only mild criticism I have for this week's episode. I think I would have did that a little different, made her a little, or at least acknowledged what happened last week a little bit. I think that's what I would have done. But aside from that, yeah, this episode was hilarious. Like, they made it's not harmless, but compared to other, TikTok trends that I've heard about schools doing, this one was less harmful in a way. Like, they wouldn't like, this challenge wouldn't hurt anybody else. You would just hurt yourself. Okay, so maybe it's still very harmful, but still. The jokes were funny, especially Barbara's joke of sweet baby Jesus and the grown one too. Oh my gosh. That had me dying laughing, bro. We also saw Courtney again, her little bad self. She made a cameo appearance. But yeah, this episode was basically enjoyable to watch. Next week's episode, I've already saw the title is Ava versus school board or something like that. Ava versus superintendent. So next week we will get more into the story of Ava having to put forth her best presentation for the school board. So that ought to be jokes, for real. I'm very excited for next week's episode. So after this week, we only have 2 episodes left for this season, next week and the week after. And then after that last episode, I'm going to do my season 1 overall review. Yeah, I can't wait. I'm so excited. This was such a good season, and I'm very happy that Abbott got renewed. Of course it was going to get reviewed because everybody's hyping this show up, and it's living up to the hype. So of course it was going to get renewed. So yeah, that is my review of episode 11 Desking. So yeah, if you like this video, feel free to hit the like button. Also, if you want to stick around and see me do more Abbott Elementary reviews and reviews on other Black television shows and anime, which I have a Yashahime review coming out maybe either tomorrow or Sunday, we'll see. And yeah, reviewing K-dramas. I'll be reviewing 39 eventually. I just gotta finish watching it. I'll be reviewing 39 and Love featuring Marriage and Divorce sometime later on this month. But yeah, hit the subscribe button and the notification bell so you'll be notified when I post. Again, thank you for watching. My name is Adriana, and I will see y'all next time. Bye.